Watching us today who will say, I want them to slash until we don't have to waste a penny. And yet, I think Dana Marie made a very interesting point in her report there. There are some people who are quite concerned here in Washington in particular that if you take a sledgehammer to the problem, maybe you end up with more problems than you realize. In fact, I want to echo that by sharing the soundbite from Ami Bera. Listen to this, get your reaction on the other side.
Look, President Trump got elected to do this. He's doing exactly what he ran on. I would not do it the way he's doing, but he's taking a sledgehammer to the federal government. There's going to be some remorse here because folks that voted for him, supported him, are going to lose some services.
Some folks are going to. So there's some concern there. Can you understand where they're coming from, Congressman?
I think it's important to set the entire record straight. We have to shrink the government. We don't have a choice. One of the reasons we have massive inflation in the United States from Joe Biden is because he massively increased the size of the federal government. We need to go back to pre-COVID era size and spending levels in Washington, D.C. So that's what needs to happen. And for everybody who's thinking about this service or that service, I want to be perfectly clear. Interest on the debt is now the second largest item that we spend money on. And it's skyrocketing to be the number one item we spend in our country. If all we're doing is paying interest on money that we borrow, that interest is going to crowd out everybody's services, everybody's pet projects. The responsible thing to do is get government spending under control right now across the spectrum. If we actually cut the federal workforce by 10%, that saves about $600 billion over the next decade. These are the type of cost-cutting measures that need to be done. Because if we
about this idea of sort of bait and switch, I don't know, I hate to put it this way, but there's a lot of gnashing of teeth here in the nation's capital and in other places by Democrats who suggest, Congressman, that, listen, we can't have access to the federal treasury. They don't want any changes to what's been going on for so many years. And yet, as you have argued articulately, I would point out, this is why we are where we are. Let me share a quick bite. This is Letitia James. She's talking about Doge access and why it is a danger to democracy.
So all Americans should be concerned, and particularly
don't do the simple work now. There will be much more severe work that's going to have to be done in the future. Democrats won't be straight and honest with the American people about this, but this is why Donald Trump won, because he's bringing common sense reality back to Washington, D.C.
You know, it's interesting you point something out there.
The constituents of the great state of New York should be concerned about a private individual, the richest man in the world, having access to their personal information. And the question is whether or not they have followed the law.
To dig into all of the waste, fraud, and abuse at the federal level. Just last year, improper payments were more than $250 billion. Just last year. Tish James doesn't understand what it means to actually be able to measure wealth and to measure financial success, because she's the lady that said Mar-a-Lago was worth $15 million. I mean, give me a break.
Yeah, a lot of people saw that and just continue to shake their head. Just look at Redfin. Pretty easy stuff. Congressman Byron Donalds, thank you, my friend. We appreciate your time on a Saturday. Best of luck this week.
Thank you. Take it easy.